Hi everyone. Um, Today I'm filming in my tip of a bedroom because I can be asked to set up the living room to make a video. So, excuse. How's it going? Hope you guys have had a good week. I'm not in good form. I'm not in good form today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I got up today and realised that my gas was finished. I've got no gas, which means I've got no hot water. So I had to have one of those horrible washes in like cold water and a lot of deodorant. Commonly known in Northern Ireland as a Hoore's bath. So you can imagine how I'm feeling right now. There's absolutely nothing worse than having to get washed in cold water in October. It's completely ridiculous. And I would have gone out to get more gas, but I'm going out pretty soon. And I didn't have time, so I just had to suck it up and move on with my life. So, yeah, how are you guys? I've done nothing very much this week, you'll be pleased to know. I did discover an excellent playlist from Apple Music that they had put together, like a Halloween playlist that I've been listening to. Not all of it, just like the middle 6 songs, because there's always a few good ones and a few bad ones. But I discovered the song Devil's Choir by Black Veil Brides, and I've basically listened to it on repeat ever since then, except a couple of days ago when I was out walking, and I thought, oh well, I'll put Black Veil Brides on and see if their stuff's any good. And everything else that I listened to was like mediocre. It wasn't terrible, but it was just mediocre, which is always a real disappointment when you've got a song that you really love and then you're scared to listen to the rest of their stuff in case it's terrible. And it's not really terrible, but like I wouldn't listen to it. I'll just keep listening to this one song on repeat constantly until I get bored of it and forget that it exists. So anyway, so there's been a lot of stuff going on in the news this week. That whole fiasco of an election in America is coming up soon. I'm not really okay with either of the running contestants, shall we say, and I'm using the word contestants because it is just basically like some twisted TV reality game show right now. Like, there's absolutely nothing going on over there that I feel is credible enough to be called politics, and that's coming from me, who doesn't really do anything political at all or know anything political at all. It's just like a huge farce, and I'm waiting to see what the end result is so that I can just laugh hysterically either way. But yeah, we did also manage to kill the Great Barrier Reef, I read this week. Nice one. Yeah, I'm sure that, our inevitable global demise is nothing to worry about. Like, that's gonna be cool, right? So yeah, I decided that this week, after last week's video, which I have to say has had such a lovely response. I really appreciate all the really sweet messages that people had sent me about that. I was really scared to upload it because although I really want to advocate for free speech and talking about mental health issues and stuff like that, it's still really scary to put yourself out there and say that you've had those problems, or you've got those problems, or you've dealt with those problems. So I really appreciate the way everybody responded to that. I'm really grateful, and I hope that it has helped somebody out there in some way. And I probably will talk about it more again in the future. But this week I thought I'd do something a bit more lighthearted, because why not? When you've talked about something, meaningful and important, deflect with humour. Why deal with those emotions? So I read in the news, I'm going to use the word news as lightly as possible, it's probably not really news, but I read this week that Poundland have been discovered to be selling certain, shall we say, adult female pleasure implements. I don't really know. I'm not afraid to use the word in my everyday life, but being fairly new to YouTube, I don't really know where the boundary lies currently with all the changes that are happening for what you can and can't get away with. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never read a set of terms and conditions about anything in my life. I just always hit yes, that's fine, and then go ahead with it. So I don't want to get in any trouble. But if you're old enough, you'll know what I mean by adult female pleasure implements, which is hilarious enough in itself. I mean, how much can you really trust anything that came from Poundland? But it reminded me of a few things that I personally had to deal with whenever I was working in shops, and I thought I'd tell you about some of them today because some of them are really funny. I think they're really funny, and you might get a laugh out of it. So I've got a little list for you of things that I had to deal with. So first thing, the time that somebody wheeled a load of dog poo into the shop on the wheel of their child's pram, and left a big line of it all the way around the premises, and guess who had to clean that up? Muggins here. So yeah, that was fun. Retail kind of synonymous with just doing all the shit work, basically. Pun intended. Love a good pun. Number 2, I know you can probably see I've got my lip pierced here. I don't know if you can see. Ah, cat just jumped on my back. I don't know if you can see the little holes in the top of my nose. I've had quite a few piercings. I used to have there and there. I had the back of my neck and I had somewhere else done. Not quite that far down. Higher up. Yeah, but this is the only one that I've got left now. They've all come out for various reasons, mostly just that they've fallen out. Oh, and I have my tongue pierced, but I swallowed that. Yeah, a woman came into the shop one day and wanted to know where something was, and one of my colleagues said, "Oh, ask Susie, she knows all that section of the shop." And the woman came over and looked at me and went, "No, no, 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 I don't like you, I don't like it, no," and just walked away. I was a bit like, okay. I mean, the argument for and against piercings and tattoos in the workplace, I kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I can understand why for maybe certain jobs in certain places they don't want you to have that sort of look about you, but all the places I've ever worked haven't ever really been that high class, so it was cool and everybody was totally fine with it, except that woman and a couple of middle-aged men who would make jokes like, "Oh, you've got some metal in your face." Hilarious. I used to work in a place that represented a large company that sells batteries. I'm not going to say the name, but we did wear shirts that had their logo on, and it said, and you'll probably guess who it is from this, but it said on it something about how we last much longer. And you can only imagine the comments that drew. As to their veracity, that's neither here nor there. I will neither confirm nor deny. There's also not one but 2 incidents where adult females have brought their own adult female pleasure implements to me personally, asking to get the batteries changed in them. So that was fun. I said no to both. I did help them find the batteries they were looking for. One woman, God love her, she was like about in her late 70s and she didn't know what it was that she had in her hand. She lifted it out of her handbag and we were all like, and she was like, "Oh, my neighbour gave it to me. I've got a stiff wrist and I use it against my wrist because it eases the tension." And we were all like, stiff wrist. But God love her, you know, that's what she uses it for, that's what she uses it for. It's the neighbour that I blame more than anything, because that's just cruel. The second woman knew fine rightly what it was that she had, and she kept pushing it into my hand. I was backing away into a corner while 2 of my colleagues stood behind her, wetting themselves laughing and making smoochy faces and obscene gestures, shall we say, in my direction. And in the end I asked her to open it herself and I looked at the batteries and I gave her the set of batteries that she needed, and she was saying to me, "Look, you know, my hands aren't great, can you please change the batteries for me?" And I was like, "Look, I've got to be honest, I'm not comfortable doing that in any way, shape or form. I'm all for people using whatever they want to use in whatever capacity they want to use it. That's their business, but don't make it my business, you know, unless it's my business. Otherwise, no." The last story is not really something that happened due to a member of public, shall we say, but a really awful thing that happened to me, and I don't mind sharing it because I've got no shame, it's hilarious. I woke up one morning to get ready for work and thought, oh, I need to pass a little wind. And something rather more than that came out of my body. So I called in sick to work for a couple of days, and then I went back to work after my time off, and I really wasn't ready to go back to work. But you know how it is when you've called your boss and you say that you're not well, and they're like, "Aye, right," especially on a Monday, and they're like, "Aye, you've been out last night." So I went in after a couple of days, and they were all looking at me like, "Oh my God, you look like you might die." And my boss felt so bad for me that he offered to drive me home. So I get into the front seat of his really fancy, expensive car. I think it was like a Mercedes or, you know, one of those sorts of brands. We're halfway to my house, and I feel this terrible warmth spreading beneath me, and I am absolutely mortified. I was like, oh my God, I've shat myself in my boss's car. What am I gonna do? And he must have like sensed the horror radiating off me. He looked at me and I looked at him, and my face was white. And he said, "Oh, no, it's fine. I've put the heated seats on. I thought it might make you feel more comfortable." And I've never simultaneously been so embarrassed because he knew exactly what I was thinking, and so relieved in my entire life. Oh my God, I cannot express to you how glad I was that I was wrong about what was going on at that time. But it was an easy mistake to make because I was really ill. Yeah, so that's just a few of my horror stories from my retail days. Just a wee quick video to give you a giggle. If you've got any horror stories of your own, because I know there's a few of you out there that watch that have been involved in retail. One guy in particular, I think he'll know who I'm talking about. And I'm sure you've got some hilarious stories, so feel free to share them in the comments. Feel free to comment. It's also been pointed out to me that I never tell anybody to like and subscribe. I just kind of assume that you'll do it anyway if you want to, but do feel free to like and subscribe if you think that it's worth subscribing to and you want to be notified when I've got more stories about, you know, pooing myself or whatever to tell you. Yeah, and feel free to share if you want to share. I am going to get ready to go out. We have been watching the Harry Potter movies. We've been watching the Harry Potter movies, myself and my family, on Sundays. They're being shown. I might have mentioned this before, at a cinema quite near to us, and we're on the Half-Blood Prince. The Half-Blood Prince at the minute. I'm going to move this. We're on the Half-Blood Prince at the minute, so I'm really excited. It's one of my faves. It's really good, and I'm reading the books as well because, you know, why not? It's winter, which is the time to read the Harry Potter books. So I'm going to go and get ready for that and hope that my hair's bath has had the desired effect and that I don't smell. It's only my family that I'm sitting next to anyway, so I'm sure they'll be used to it. Alright, so you guys have a good week. Oh, he's gone. You guys have a good week. Yeah, you guys have a good week. I will be back probably through the week with more ridiculous stories. Or, you know, nonsense to tell you. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.